Wayne Huff with Influence Seminars. Hope you're doing well. And I know a lot of us right now have been moved to doing things remotely. If you work for a company, maybe you're at home working, or you're not around everybody that you normally are. And so communication obviously becomes much more important. So I want to share something that you can do immediately to get better results, or get better results immediately. Now listen, if you've been following me, you know that I'm all about influence. That's why my company is called Influence Seminars. And I'm not saying that influence is everything, but what I am saying is that everything you're trying to accomplish requires to improve your influence, and this definitely will. And before I jump in here, before I forget, if you're a business owner or somebody responsible for training at your company, and you've been saying, man, we really need to train our employees, we just don't have time, things are too busy, or we don't have the money, well, guess what? There's never been a better time to train your employees, and it's more affordable than you think. And the best way to get started is run over to influenceseminars.com. There's some free training there. I've got a brand new Influence mini course. There's training on negotiation skills. And if you're a sales professional or someone who's in sales VP, sales manager, there's a great extensive mini course there for your salespeople. Jump in on that. But it doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter what you do. This one thing can completely change the game. And being separated or distance from everybody. Hopefully you're using Zoom or you're using Facebook Live or something to communicate with people, because the worst thing that we can do is rely on text and email to do all our communications. You and I both know that that can go south really quick, because everything is in the words you write. And somebody once told me, Dwayne, you know why that goes south so quickly? And I said, no, why? He says, because people receive text and email in one way: the mood they're in. Right? Think about this for a second. If somebody at the beginning of the day, let's say it's your best friend, let's say you're having a horrible day, and your best friend sends you a message that says, have a great day. How are you going to read that message if you're having a bad day? You're probably going to read it as, have a great day. You're going to be like, well, what's their problem? Right? But if your worst enemy, if you're having a great day and your worst enemy sends you a message or a text saying you're an idiot, how are you going to read that message? You're probably going to read it like, you're an idiot, right? Because you're having a great day. It's the mood we're in. It's the frame of mind we're in that brings context and tone of voice and all that kind of stuff into the text and emails. Now, that's extreme examples, but I want to give you another one that kind of plays out, and it's kind of an analogy or a metaphor. So here's what I want you to do for me real quick. And don't cheat on this. I want you to drop this. If you're watching this live, I want you to drop it in the comments. If you're watching the replay, I want you to drop it in the comments. I'm about to tap out a tune, and I want you to guess what tune I'm tapping out. Okay? So I'm going to tap out a tune, and as soon as you think you know it, I want you to drop it in the comments. I'm going to reveal what it is, but no cheating. I want you to drop it in there. The minute you know what you think, this tune is, drop it in the comments. And tell me what tune I'm tapping, then I'll reveal it later. But don't cheat, okay? Here we go. Ready? I'm going to tap out a tune, and I want you to tell me what tune it is and see who gets it right, okay? Here it goes. What tune is that? If you know it, drop it in the comments, even if you're watching on the replay. I'll tap it again. Ready? If you know it, whether you're watching it live or you're watching on the replay, drop it in the comments and let's see if you're right. Right? So I do this in all my live trainings, and I do them now in my virtual trainings. And the reason I do it is because there was a study done. They thought that people could really identify tunes better when they were tapped out, not better, but just as well as if they were hummed or sang, right? And it backfired on them. What they found out is people really couldn't identify those tunes unless they were sung. Anyway, so if you can guess this, you're amongst the few that can. I'll tap it out one more time in case you missed it. Drop it in the comments. I'm about to reveal it though, but no cheating. Drop it in the comments. I'm gonna hum that tune for you now. Now, if you guessed it was Happy Birthday, you're wrong. You're wrong. It's not. I'm gonna sing it for you. I'm gonna hum it for you. Right? So the people who are joining me are like, what's he doing? I just tapped out a tune and see if people could guess what it was. And if you guessed it was a Star Spangled Banner, congratulations. But most people cannot identify that. I do this in small, medium, and large size group. I do it online. And I don't think there's ever been a time when somebody actually identified that tune properly, right? What's the point and why is this important to you? Because as we're separated and distant and, social distancing and quarantine, we're going to be doing a lot of communication via email, via text, and hopefully via Zoom and phone call. That's the best way. Obviously, we do not want to communicate important things via text and email. It's so important to get face-to-face or at least on the phone so that things don't go south quickly. And always follow it up with an email or a text message if you need to, just to document it. But the reason I did that for you, the reason I tapped out the tune and asked you to identify is because here's what happens. I've been doing this for a long time, since 2006, working with people to help them improve their influence through communication. And it's so difficult sometimes to get the things across that we're trying to communicate with people, even when they seem obvious to us. Like to me, I was tapping out the tune and it was obvious to me because in my mind, I knew what I was trying to say, but you were trying to interpret what I was saying. And because you weren't in my head, it was very difficult to do it, right? And that's exactly what happens when we're trying to communicate information to another person. So whether you're a business owner, whether you're a CEO, whether you're a frontline employee, whether you're a parent, a spouse, whether you're, it doesn't matter what situation you're in, when you're trying to convey to another human being the things that are in your head, there's so many barriers going on between what you're saying and how they're receiving it that there's so many things that can get lost in translation. Right? And before you know it, things can get awkward, things can go south, things can completely be shut down and destroyed. And it's important when you're communicating with your boss, with your coworkers, with your employees, with your customers, with your vendors. It doesn't matter who it is you're communicating with. It's so important that you communicate fully and effectively. You know, and if somebody would have told me this a year and a half ago before I discovered this, I would have argued with them. If they would have told me, Dwayne, it's your responsibility to make sure the people that you're communicating with understand what you mean by the words you say, I'd have been like, no, it doesn't. It's their responsibility. They need to pay attention. But the reality of the situation is that if we're not getting our point across, if we're not able to clearly convey the message we intend, and it's not being understood by the people we're communicating with, that is our fault, and we need to adjust, say it another way, approach it differently so that they can understand it. Now, if they don't agree with it, that's a whole different story. That's on them. That's not on you, right? But how many times have you asked a question to somebody and they gave you an answer and you didn't understand it, so you tried to clarify, or you tried to ask it in a different way, and they gave you the exact same answer, and you're like, no, and you tried to say it again, and they gave you the exact same answer, and you're like, whatever, I'm not even deal with it, right? It's so important that we are able to not just tap out the tune or tap out the tune, but hum the tune, which means we have to really connect the dots for people. And what we mean, there's so many barriers, like they're distracted, like there's noise externally, internally, there's something they're thinking about, there's something that they're focused on. We have to interrupt that pattern. We got to get their full attention, and we have to be able to really communicate what's in our mind with them, which means we might have to change our words. We might have to change our tone. We might have to change our body language. We might have to ask a question to be able to get them to understand what they need from us so that we can recommunicate it, right? But if we're able to do this one thing more effectively, the results we get are going to change drastically, right? In today's age, when we're faced with these struggles of barriers and not being there face-to-face with people, this becomes even more important. Why is it important? Because we don't want to just survive during this time. We want to thrive. We want to innovate. We want to be better and stronger as a team, as a family, as a business, as an organization, as a community. But it takes us as individuals communicating with other people to take responsibility for making sure that the communication, how we're communicating with them, they understand fully, right? And so just think of that metaphor of tapping out the tune and realizing that they're not in your head. And if they seem confused, if they seem like they don't get it, if they seem like they don't understand, you have to reboot, you have to revisit, you have to come back and say it in a different way, because you want to make sure that that communication is received fully. And when you do that, it increases your influence with people. And the reason that's so important is because everything you're trying to accomplish, I'm not saying that influence is everything, but I'm saying everything that you're trying to accomplish requires you to be influential. And when you communicate clearly and effectively, that raises your stock and social stock with people, and they'll appreciate you for it. And listen, if you're a business owner, somebody responsible for training at your company, and you've thought to yourself, well, we just don't have the time to train. Guess what? Virtually, in hour increments, 3-hour increments, 4, 8-hour increments, whatever needs to happen. There's never been a better time to train your employees to be more effective with each other, to communicate better, effective with you, for you to communicate with them, and to serve and take care of your customers. So if you're looking to step your game up and your people up in their effectiveness in those areas that I just mentioned, reach out to me. Go to influenceseminars.com. If nothing else, run over there, grab the free training that's over there. I've got a free influence mini course, a free selling mini course, and even negotiations and presentation skills. So run over there, grab those things, reach out to me. Let's have a conversation about what you're trying to accomplish. Now that you're going through something different, in a situation we've never been in, you don't want to just survive. You want to thrive. You want to innovate, and you want to come out on the other side of this more effective. Sorry, my mouth's getting dry here. More effective and stronger as a company, as an organization, as a team, and as an individual than you went into the situation. This will end. I don't know how long it's going to be. Nobody does, but it will. And whenever you get on the other side of it, you want to make sure that you and your team are prepared to do great things. And in the meantime, that you're serving your customers, your potential customers, your team, your family, your organization as best as you can. So I look forward to connecting with you. Stay tuned. I'll do some more of these to help and serve you. Run over to influenceseminars.com, grab some free training that's over there. Start that process. And if you want to dig deeper into that, do some virtual training for your employees, reach out to me. Let's talk about how we can make that happen for you. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.